Hedgwich Herbarium presents Tasseography and Tea Gods, Tea Leaf Reading and the Gods of Tea. Tasseography, from the French word tassi meaning cup and the Greek graph meaning writing, has a fascinating history that mirrors the global spread of tea itself. It's a practice of reading the patterns left by tea leaves, coffee grounds, or even wine sediments. Long before tea arrived in Europe, ancient civilizations practiced various forms of sediment reading. While tea originated in China, formal tasseography as we know it wasn't the primary method of divination there. They preferred oracle bones or stalks. However, monks would often interpret the patterns of steam or the way leaves floated in a bowl to determine the spirit of the day. In the Middle East, reading coffee grounds, specifically Turkish coffee, predates European tea reading. As coffee culture spread through the Ottoman Empire, the thick, muddy sediment provided a perfect canvas for symbols. The medieval transition, lead and wax. During the Middle Ages, European fortune tellers often practiced molten lead or wax pouring, molybdomancy. They would drop hot wax or lead into cold water and interpret the shapes that formed. When tea was introduced to Europe in the 17th century, these shapers realised that tea leaves provided a much cheaper, safer and more accessible medium for the same kind of symbolic interpretation. As tea became a staple in British and European households, tasseography exploded in popularity. The Romany influence. Travelling Romany people are often credited with refining and popularising tea leaf reading across Europe. They integrated their traditional symbolic language into the ritual of tea drinking. Domestic divination. Unlike other forms of occultism that required specialised tools, tea reading could be done in the kitchen or parlour. It became a socially acceptable way for women to practice intuition and fortune-telling within the home. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, many tea rooms in the UK and US kept a resident reader on staff. It was a popular afternoon activity for socialites. In the 18th century, the Scottish Highlands were particularly famous for seers who read tea leaves. It was considered such a potent form of divination that some church sessions actually tried to ban it, fearing it was a form of witchcraft. The Victorian era. The 19th century was the height of tea culture and spiritualism. Potteries like Ainsley and Royal Worcester began manufacturing zodiac cups or fortune-telling cups. These had symbols printed directly on the inside of the porcelain to help the reader interpret the placement of the leaves. Modern tasseography. Today, tasseography is viewed as a form of active meditation. Rather than just predicting the future, modern practitioners use the leaves as a psychological tool, a way to unlock the subconscious mind and reflect on current life paths. The art of tasseography. The setup. Use a wide-mouthed, light-coloured cup, white is best for visibility, and a saucer. Use high-quality, loose-leaf black tea. The larger the leaf, the clearer the symbols. While the viewer sips, instruct them to focus on a specific question. Leave a small amount of liquid, about a teaspoon, at the bottom of the cup. The method. Hold the cup in your non-dominant hand. Swirl the liquid 3 times in a clockwise direction to settle the leaves. Invert the cup onto the saucer and wait for a count of 3. Turn the cup back upright with the handle facing the querent, the person asking. Reading the geography of the cup. Where the leaves land is just as important as what they look like. The rim means the present. Leaves near the top represent events happening right now or in the very near future. The sides, the journey. These represent the near future, usually 2 to 4 weeks. The bottom, the outcome. These represent the distant future or the ultimate answer to the question. The handle. This represents the home or the self. Leaves closer to the handle affect the person directly. Common tea symbols and meanings. Since black tea leaves are dark and bold, they create very distinct silhouettes. Here are 5 beginner symbols you can start with. The anchor, stability or success in business, a sign of grounding. The bird, good news is flying toward you, a message or a letter. The cloud, temporary doubt or confusion, a storm that will pass. The heart, love, a close friendship or a joy coming to the home. The knife, a need to cut ties with a situation, warning of a misunderstanding. Of course, the tea leaves might not be as perfect as the ones you see in this image, but it's also important to use your intuition and imagination. Here's some extra meanings from the past, from the Specialty Tea Company in Wellington, New Zealand. Feel free to pause and take screenshots. Bonus section, the tea gods and goddesses. The deities associated with Camellia sinensis offer a beautiful cross-cultural bridge. While black tea specifically is a later development in tea history, focused on full oxidation, these deities rule over the plant itself and the ritual of the brew. Shennong, the divine farmer, China. Shennong is the father of Chinese medicine and is credited with the discovery of tea in 2737 BCE. He had a transparent stomach and would taste hundreds of herbs a day to see how they affected the body. One day he accidentally poisoned himself with a toxic plant. As he lay dying under a tree, a wild tea leaf drifted into his mouth or fell into his boiling water. The tea acted as an antidote, detoxifying his body and saving his life. Spiritual theme: healing, detoxification, and the discovery of hidden medicine in nature. Guanyin or Kuan Yin, the goddess of mercy, East Asia. While she is a bodhisattva of compassion, she is a namesake of one of the most famous teas, Tie Guanyin. A poor farmer named Wei devoted his time to cleaning a neglected iron statue of Guanyin in a ruined temple. In a dream, the goddess told him he would find a treasure behind the temple. He found a single tea shoot. He nurtured it, and it grew into a legendary bush that saved his village from poverty. Spiritual theme: compassion, reward for devotion, and the alchemy of turning iron, struggle, into gold, prosperity. Bodhidharma, Zen Buddhism. Bodhidharma is the monk who brought Zen to China and is often depicted with wide, staring eyes. To stay awake during a 9-year meditation, Bodhidharma fell asleep once and was so frustrated that he cut off his own eyelids so he would never close them again. Where his eyelids touched the ground, the first tea plants grew. The leaves provided the alert stillness needed for meditation. Spiritual theme: discipline, wakefulness, and the fierce side of spiritual practice. Lu Yu, the Sage of Tea. Though a historical figure, 733 to 804 CE, Lu Yu was deified after his death as the god of tea. He wrote the Cha Jing, the classic of tea, the first book detailing how to grow and brew tea. Tea sellers used to place porcelain statues of him near their stoves. If business was good, they gave him tea, but if business was bad, they would pour boiling water over the statue. Spiritual theme: mastery of craft, the ritual of the perfect cup, and the harmony between man and nature. Inari Okami, Japan, Shinto. Inari is the deity of rice, agriculture, and general prosperity. In Japanese Shinto practice, Inari is often associated with all food and drink that sustains life, including tea. In some regions, tea is offered at Inari shrines alongside rice and sake to ensure a bountiful harvest. Spiritual theme: sustenance, abundance, and the earthly side of spiritual nourishment. If you want to see a great tea leaf reader in action, check out Ula tea leaf readings on YouTube. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more. Blessed be.